This is take two. My first video got destroyed. Um, Without getting into anything too much, and as a disclaimer, everything I'm saying is a lie. Everything is made up. This is a fantasy story. Don't believe anything I say. So, with that out of the way, I live in a state very much like California. Um, I'm just gonna try to keep it down to the bare bones. There's so much into the story, obviously, and everyone's got a story, but not everyone's got the time, and I just need help on a few very specific, you know, subjects, and then further advice on how I need to proceed in this situation because it's nothing short of astonishing and baffling how this world works. So to begin with, I had been using a vehicle to travel. Um, I had been stopped for not having any plates on my vehicle late one night on a weekend. Um, hadn't consent to the stop. I proceeded to a private parking lot at a gym that I had a membership at and stopped. And then immediately I was treated like a criminal. Lights were on. I think they already had a second cop car there. Guns drawn, telling me to step out the vehicle. And I just had my hands out the window and I had to kind of yell back at the cops repeatedly just to come talk to me and try to, figure out why, what the problem was. When I finally got them to approach my window, I made it clear to them that I was traveling. I was not driving. I was not participating in commercial activity. I They were already being very confrontational with me. Obviously, they had guns drawn, and so I went to serve him with a um, paperwork with a fee schedule and listing all the court, decisions and laws and related information about my ability to travel freely. Um, so in order to serve him, I was putting down where I was, the time, and the officer's name, and I was asking for his name, and he didn't want to give me his name, and just being really confrontational, and finally gave me his badge number, and I asked him to spell his last name, he wouldn't spell it, so I just did my best to find out. I gave him paperwork, and the proceeding didn't go well, to say the least. They refused to read the paperwork. They refused to read the laws. I asked them if they even knew their own vehicle codes. I referred to a couple, CVC 260, and I believe it was CVC 2600.2. Anyways, they just refused to listen to anything. I wasn't giving them information. My window was just cracked. Um, while more cop cars showed up, surrounded my vehicle, completely surround my vehicle. I guess about six cop cars. Um, One thing leads to another. They just read the VIN information to get my information from the vehicle because I had already had to pay registration costs to get out the impound before, um, when it was illegally seized by a different agency. Um, and so I have been asking them, was I free to go? They're like, oh, well, we're impounding your car. There's nothing you can do. We're taking your car. The registration's up. And I said, no, I do not consent to you seizing my property. And I was like, am I free to go? I go, yeah, you can get out. You can walk away. You're free to go. And I said, if I'm free to go, then I'm going to go. I went to start my car. So they, rammed into my car just because I started the car up, even though there was nowhere for me to go. So I just turned it off and I was filming them with my phone the entire time, like, oh yeah, you have the, we're gonna put that in the report now, that you just try to run one of our officers over, and they were just giving me slack the entire time. They were just treating me like a horrible human being, and so now they said that I was going to be placed under arrest for obstructing an officer. So what they did was they proceeded to bash out the window in my face, while I was in the driver's seat. Then the officers on the other side of my car just bashed out the passenger side window just for the hell of it. I even turned my camera and filmed and said, "Really? Did you guys have to do that?" And they said, "Oh well, whatever reason." They fiddle with the door, trying like morons for I don't know how long trying to unlock it. They just cut my seatbelt. I said, "I'm not consenting to this. I'm not consenting." They dragged me out, slammed my head into the ground, knee on the back of my neck, twist my arms, the whole, stop resisting. I was just being dead weight, just not complying to the arrest. Um, the whole jail experience is a whole other topic about how corrupt that system is, but I'm ended up dragged into there, taken to the correctional facility. Uh, theoretically tortured by the correction officers along with other inmates in there. But I won't even get into complaining about that. So after being tortured and being coerced, I signed whatever type of paperwork they have to get me out of there after they held me there for, I think I was there for 11 hours. They check you in late. They start at the time that you're, allowed to be out late, whatever. So the meat and bones now is that when I get to my court date, my first court date, I go to address the judge, and I've been doing a lot of research on obviously exposing the true jurisdiction and the nature of the court and the fraudulency of it. So, and I will post. I had my phone on record, so I will post the audio. It's kind of hard to hear the judge. You can hear my responses really well, but I'm gonna edit up and so you can hear the actual proceedings or the court proceedings. But it went something along the lines of, first I went up because they said, "Anyone represent yourself, go up." Had my little American flag with me, and I was saying I was representing myself, and they were first trying to get me to fill out the Faretta waiver. And so I asked, "Oh, is this like required?" He's like, "Yeah, it's required for you to proceed if you want to represent yourself." And looking at it, it's clear that it's trying to make you give up a lot of jurisdiction, a lot of your rights, just by signing a lot of things that you're supposed to be acknowledging. And so eventually, I get my second time called up, and I say I don't have that, finished, and I lead into asking him the questions of, okay, well, which jurisdiction is this being tried under? Is this a criminal or civil action? So this is a criminal court. I said, okay, under the Constitution, there's two different jurisdictions allowed under a criminal jurisdiction. One is under common law, and one is under something of colorable admiralty jurisdiction, whatever lingo I had it written down. Which jurisdiction is this court under? And he says, "Oh, well, you're going to be representing yourself. You're going to have to figure that out yourself." So I try to lead him back around saying, "Well, I don't need, legal advice or anything. I just want you to answer the question on the authority of the Sixth Amendment. What is the jurisdiction that I'm being tried under? Is it under common law or is it under something like admiralty jurisdiction?" And he just refuses to answer the question. He's like, "Okay, well, public defender assigned." I said, "Well, I object. I don't want your public defender." Going through it, he attempts to assign me to public defenders. The public defenders, they try talking to me. They try convincing me of, whatever they try to convince me of. Oh, they try saying statutory, ask them some questions. They don't want to answer. It becomes painfully obvious that they're all in a game together, just trying to get your money, just trying to, coerce you into giving into the system and not answering the questions. And so by the time we go back in and the defenders are trying to represent me, I'm just objecting, saying, "No, I don't accept them as representation." And the female public defender goes in and just asks the judge for extension, so I have time to fill out this bullshit Faretta waiver. So they push the trial back about a month. And then again, like I said, after that trial, like talking to these public defenders, one tries to tell me, "Oh, well, you accepted jurisdiction just by coming in here today," and then on the paper it says it's supposed to be in your own handwriting, everything, but then the public defender is like filling out the form for me, and I ask her, "How am I supposed to sign this when it says right here that's supposed to all be in my own handwriting?" Like it's just all it's a farce. It's a farce. And so I come back for my second trial. I'm supposed to have this form filled out, and I do some more research, and I find out, there's nothing constitutionally requiring me to fill out this form. And so a new public defender starts talking to me, another male, and he basically he reveals to me, subtly that, oh, well, through the grapevine, pretty much, the talk around the other attorneys, they've been talking about my case, so that obviously indicates to me that they're strategizing against me. And so he comes to talk to me and, acting like he's on my side and like whatever. And then they're trying to just talk me through filling out the form. And I end up having to stop two different public defenders and saying, like, "Stop. I don't need an explanation on how to fill out this form. I know how to fill out this form. I'm not accepting. I want these questions answered about the nature of these crimes." And they refuse to answer too. But he's like kind of agreeing, like, "Oh, I've seen these cases before, and I'm all with you." Yeah, da 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 da. Like trying to act like they're on my side. And so when we go up there again, I object to filling out the form, and the public defender steps in. And he's like, "Oh, can we just have some more time? Can we have some more time?" And he takes me out of the side. He's like, oh, well, he's going to hold you in contempt of court if you refuse to fill out this form. I'm like, so I'm being coerced. He's like, oh, yeah, basically. So he's like being the advocate in my ear, but giving the message from the judge that, oh, yes, I'm going to be thrown in jail if I continue to question the jurisdiction and not fill out this form, even though I'm not required to. So before they even call my case again, I guess that public defender had to go somewhere. The bailiff comes up and moves me to a different courtroom. So I get moved to a different judge. So I get moved to this different judge, and they put on the fake nice smile to begin with. And I went through the same process again, and I asked, is this a court of record? Went into, is this criminal or civil? Went into, is this common law or something similar? And, this is my second time reciting it, so I had it down this time. And again, just astonishing, just astonishing. She talks about something similar to it, and then they just talk a while just to detract, from the answer, and then I have to bring it back. I'm like, she tried saying like, oh well, you know, after I asked, is this common law or is it something similar to the admiralty jurisdiction? She says, this is why I strongly advise against people representing themselves because da 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 because this and this and this, and then she just talks in a long circle, and then I explained to her, I was like, no, Your Honor, it's not a matter of whether you guys think you have jurisdiction over me or not. I'm just asking you to tell me what the jurisdiction is. Refuses to answer the question, talks in circles, just like, okay, public defender assigned. And then the public defender, who's been trying to like talk to me and act like he's my buddy too, says, okay, well, we're gonna enter a plea of not guilty. I object to the not guilty plea. She just tries talking over it, the new judge. And then my public defender points out that I object to it, and she says, okay, well, I'm going to have to put in the plea for you for not guilty. So then for my reading, I know to ask, Your Honor, isn't that practicing law from the bench? She doesn't say anything. She shuffles around her chair. She's like, have a good day. And then I say, so are you making a judicial decision of not guilty? And then she just says, have a good day, mister. And then, just dismisses my case, doesn't answer the question, doesn't answer anything about the jurisdiction. And then I walk out with the public defender, still acting like he's my buddy and just explaining my legal options that I already know I have in their system. So thank you for watching this long. If you've watched this long, I didn't have much of this scripted, but what it comes down to now is, it's clear that this system is just going to force you to do whatever they want you to do, and they're not going to follow any type of rules that they want. And I need to know what motions, or to get templates for motions for whatever I need, for dismissals, for discovery, for dismissal on the basis of mistrial. I need some type of leaks, some type of resources. I haven't been able to find the exact thing, and I need instructions on how I'm supposed to submit those, because I believe I'm supposed to submit to the court and the DA's office, but file with the court, get stamped, and I don't know if I need to get served, but I need as much assistance as possible, because clearly, it's just so far. It's like, and it's repeatable. You can go into, and it seems like you can go and talk to any judge, and they will not answer the question. They do not want to be on record for exposing that this whole system is not voluntary. It's by force. It's by slavery. And when when you see the look in their eyes, when you know the truth, and they give you that look back into your eyes, it is the most hateful, demonic look that you will ever experience when you call them out, and they do not want to answer the question. It's amazing. So again, thank you to whoever's watching this. I'm going to try to edit up the audio to cut out all the miscellaneous airtime between things, about the court procedures, and if there's any recommendations or anything that I can answer for someone else to help them in a similar situation, please let me know. Again, thank you. God bless.